Okay, 10 o'clock. So let's get started. And a few others may join us. So thanks everybody for joining Martin and I today for this webinar on document capture and invoice automation. My name is Nicola. I am a program director and part of the leadership team at Inextricable Group. So for those that don't know Inextricable Group, just a small piece about us. So we specialize in Microsoft Dynamics, SAP and data strategy, and we're a fast growing consultancy company in the UK. What I will just, so I'm speaking today from Cortinia is Martin Halterman. So Martin's been working with Cortinia software for almost 8 years. He's currently working as a partner manager for the UK and many other countries as well. He's got a wealth of knowledge on document capture, which is what he's going to be talking about today. And he's going to show us how this has transformed many different teams around the world. So while I'll pass over to Martin, but just to let you know, so while Martin's giving the demo, none of you can, if you want questions, please use the Q&A, not the chat in the top bar on the right hand side. We'll go for questions at the end to Martin. If there is any left and we run out of time, we'll be following up with an email and we'll include any answers within that and contact details and things like that at the very end. So with that, I'll hand over to Martin.
Don't need to introduce myself anymore. Thank you. No, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Martin, like Nicola said. And indeed, I've been working for Continia for a very long time now. I was very young when I started, and now I'm getting old, but I can still do a good demo. Today, I'm going to show you document capture, our solution for scanning, registering, and archiving of your invoice and credit notes. I do not like PowerPoint, so I'm going to show it to you in Business Central. I'm going to show you how do the invoices come in, how do we process them, approve them, post them, and find them back. So everything from beginning to end. Like Nicola said, please type your questions into the Q&A box at the top. At the end, I will be able to answer them. If not, then we will send them to you via email. For now, I'm going to start sharing my screen. During the presentation, I always switch off my camera because I make weird noises and weird movements while I'm doing the demo. But I'm not in my pajamas, I promise. But I will turn it on back at the end when I'm answering the questions. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Nicola, could you be so kind to tell me if you can see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Very good. All right. People, thank you for joining this webinar in such great numbers. We're going to start now. So for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the demo. So document capture, it will be fully integrated into your Business Central. And as the accounts payable team, you can set up a role center, and there you can see a couple of things. On the left-hand side, in these 4 boxes over here, you can see how many invoices came in, and they can come in 3 different ways. 1, you receive invoices via the post. You put them on the scanner, you press the button, and they'll be sent to Business Central. Number 2 is via email. You can create your own email address, like invoices@yourcompanyname.com. You ask the vendors to send the invoices to that email address. Document Capture monitors it and downloads them directly into Business Central for you. Number 3 is XML. We have a possibility to import XML invoices, and we can even do that directly via the PEPL network if your vendors are on the PEPL network as well. But mostly what we see is vendors sending an XML via email. It will be picked up by our software and we can process that. So those are basically the 3 ways of getting invoices into the system. Then what you can also do, if you got multiple entities within your Business Central, like you got different companies or different countries, then we can automatically distribute the invoices to the correct companies for you. So for example, I'm making an example. If it sees your company name plus the word London, it will move the invoice to company number 1. If it sees your name and office Birmingham, it will move to company number 2. So that will save the accounts payable team a lot of time getting the invoices into the correct place. Of course, you can also set up 1 email box per company if you wish to. We process PDF files and we process XML files. Should you receive any other format, then you need to manually convert that to PDF or XML before the system can pick it up. However, what we do see, most of the invoices coming in are in PDF format, so we should be good. Now, this is the first part. in the first 4 tiles. Next to that, we can see purchase approval. With document capture, we can of course approve invoices, and within the role center, an approver can see how many documents he or she has to approve. And the same goes for credit notes over here on the right hand side. I will get back to this approval process later on, so stop typing in your questions already, because yeah, I'll be probably answering a lot of your questions later on. I first want to show you how do we actually process the invoices. One thing I'm not going to show you today because it's quite boring. I'm not going to show you how I email the invoices to my demo email address. I just did that 5 minutes ago. Basically, I put some invoices into my demo email, into an email. Then I press send to my demo email address. And about 10 seconds later, you see them coming in over here. What the system does, it downloads the PDF files right into Business Central. Then it puts the OCR software on top of it. OCR stands for optical character recognition, and reads the whole paper and then puts it into Business Central, where we can do some things with it. This will save you a lot of time on probably what you're doing right now, typing everything in. So once they're in, they go into the ready to register box. And if you click on that, you will go to the next screen. And this is basically the screen where the accounts payable team will process the invoices from now on. What do they see over here? On the top left, they can see their to-do list. On the right, you can see the invoice that you need to process. In the middle, there will be a template, and down below, there will be comments. So how does our software work? We're going to create a template per vendor, and on that template, you're going to tell the system, how do you want this invoice to be processed? We can basically process any type of invoice that you might receive. Think of a simple cost invoice, but we can also do more. We can do matching against purchase orders, capture multiple lines of invoices, freight charges, discounts, foreign languages, foreign currencies. Doesn't matter. Tell the system one time how you want it. Next time it will go in automatically. I'm going to give you a couple of examples today. I'm going to start off very simple with a cost invoice. Everybody gets them, and it will show you the basics of document capture. Then I'll move to a slightly more difficult one where I'm going to show you the order matching part. And then I will show you, last but not least, how we can capture multiple lines of invoices, and show you how we can do that in a couple of ways. So before I'm going to do that, you can see the document capture recognized the vendors on the top left. How did it do that? When they get imported by the OCR software starts scanning the document. It found the VAT number, and then it found a match on the vendor card of First Stop Consultants in this case. If there's no VAT number to be found, the system will look for company name, address, postal code, contact person, all to identify the correct vendor for you. In this case, it found it, which is great. Maybe a quick sneak peek. I thought I wouldn't show you this, but why not? We're fully integrated into your Business Central, which is one of the key things that we want to get across also in this webinar. We're not a standalone product, but really once you open up Business Central in the morning, we are there. What is a benefit? Let's say document capture could not find the vendor the first time. You'll be able to open up your vendor list like you're used to, and then you can select the correct one from here. Or you can immediately create a new one without having to go to Business Central, do all kinds of things. You are in Business Central, which is one of the biggest pluses that we have, of course. Oh, I clicked the wrong button, of course. Good morning. Now I want to show you how we're going to create a template. Very simple. I select this one and I press recognize fields. The system will think for a couple of seconds, and then we'll see a couple of things happening. On the right hand side, we can see orange and blue bars appearing. In the middle, a template with data, and down below, comments. So let me start off in the middle. In the middle is where the master template lies, and you get this template with when you buy document capture. And this master template contains the most common fields that can be found on an invoice, like invoice number, invoice date, order number, currency code, amounts. However, you as a customer can fully adjust this to your liking. Of course, an extricable group is going to show you how you do that, but a lot of fields you can add yourself. Think of, for example, your dimensions. And what are dimensions? For example, they are your cost centers. The accounts payable team can add and remove them to templates. You can add a security field. Let's say you want a field that checks the bank account on the invoice and match that to the bank account that's set up on the vendor card. No problem. You will add it, which is very nice. So it becomes very user friendly. Now, you can see those in the first column. In the next column, value, this is where document capture, of course, tries to fill in as much as it can for you, right? We're not going to leave you sitting in the dark. We're going to try to fill in as much as we can. However, the first time you will check it, because sometimes it makes a mistake, you will need to correct that. And then we can make sure that it will not happen the next time. If you select a certain value, you can see it gets highlighted on the right-hand side of on the PDF file. You will see an orange bar and a blue bar. I don't want to become too technical, but the orange bar is like the header the system is looking for, and the blue bar is the value that the system found. And that's how it will dynamically go through the PDF file to find as much values as it can for you. So I'm going to check, well, this one is okay. It found the invoice date as well, which is great. It found the due date. Also, a thing what it does, it validates the due date with your payment terms. If it does not match, it will give you a warning message like the one here on the bottom left. You can also choose for document capture to always honor your payment terms, because your Business Central is leading, of course. We got a contact person, no order number in this case. The currency code is left blank because it's a local currency within Business Central. We can process any currency that you might receive. Don't worry about that. We get all the amounts, and it validates all the amounts. We can handle multiple VAT amounts on one invoice, like low and high VAT, zero VAT, reverse VAT, whatever VAT, it doesn't matter. The system can process it. Don't worry about that. The general ledger account, the system asks for a general ledger account because this is a cost invoice. Again, we're fully integrated. So what do? I open up your general ledger account list like you're used to. I can scroll through it, or I can type in the top which one that I like. I can see it already over here, so I do not need to type it in. I press OK. And then the system asks me, do you want to set this up as a default for this vendor? If I press yes, it will not ask about it again. If I press no, I will have to fill it in again the next time. For now, I'll press yes, and then you also see this warning or comment at the bottom left disappear. I press yes for now, and then it's gone. The posting description, you can type something in manually. You can combine fields from the template, the PDF file. Basically, you are in full control. In my demo, I want to show you how we capture something of an invoice, which is really simple. So that's what I'm about to do. I'll select posting description, and then with my left-hand mouse button, I'll drag an orange box. And with my right-hand mouse button, I'll select the value that I want to capture. And that's it, left, right. And now document capture knows how you want the posting description for this vendor to be captured. And yeah, what I just did is I would say about 90% of what the accounts payable team need to do in the beginning, setting up these templates. It is not difficult. The last field, invoice/credit memo, document capture automatically recognizes if this document is an invoice or a credit memo. Double invoices will be blocked here. They will not go into your system, so don't have to worry about that. And yeah, now we've finished setting up the first template. I can do this in less than a minute, and after a couple of days of training from Inextricable Group, you will also be able to do this. It is really not that difficult. I'm going to register this one now, and then it becomes a registered purchase invoice within Business Central. Some of you will find this screen familiar who are already on Business Central. Basically, what we see on the left-hand side is standard Business Central, where you would type in everything manually. Of course, we've automated everything and make sure that everything is filled in over here. And we make sure that the accounts payable team gets to see the original invoice from now on the right-hand side, because we're going to digitalize and automate, and we do not want a lot of paper copies anymore. So you see it over here. I'm going to send it for approval. Again, I will tell you more about the approvals later on, but I'm now just sending it. And then we're back in the document journal. If I have another invoice from First Up Consultants, if I press recognize fields, then now it found everything that we just did. It found the date, sorry, it found the invoice number, it found the dates, it found all the amounts. It remembered the general ledger account 31400. It got the posting description. So now you can see with creating the template once, the next time your workload will be less. And with every template that you do, it will become less and less. I'll register it, and then I'll send it for approval as well. Now, I think you're all very impressed, but this was, of course, a very simple cost invoice, and we can do a lot more. And this is what comes into a lot of companies, the matching part of our software. With document capture, we can match purchase invoices that you receive to purchase orders that you have in your system. And we can do that in 3 different ways. One, we can match on a total amount level. So the system will look, okay, the purchase order in Business Central is $1,000 or £1,000, doesn't matter. And then the invoice comes in, is also £1,000. It will match, and then it will go through. That's good, but the only downside of this way of matching is that you do not know if you ordered a Lenovo laptop or a Dell laptop. It will just purely look at the amount. Therefore, we've invented method number 2. Method number 2 is is matching based on a line level. Now the system can really check, if I use the example on the screen, and I will zoom in a little bit. Did you receive 20 lamps for £25, 5 whiteboards for £700, and 20 desks for £500, making your match very accurate, but it will also allow you to do partial matching. We can match multiple orders in one on one invoice to multiple orders within the system. We can set up tolerances per supplier. We can skip the approval. There's a lot of functionality being opened up by the line level matching. The third way of matching is manual. Why do you want to do that? Well, preferably not that much, but in real life, I don't know, let's say a mistake happens. A vendor forgets to put up an order number. Then document capture is not going to guess for you. You need to help it a little bit, and then it will take over the matching again. That's, I would say, in a manual matching example. Let me show you something instead of only talking. I'm going to press recognize fields. I know because of time, I'm not going to click on everything, but I know it captured everything correctly, including the order number. So normally this would have matched automatically, but I switched it off. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the bottom match lines. And then this is the matching screen that we created. What do we see over here? On the right hand side, as always, nicely the invoice. Then we can see the purchase receipt lines from White World Importers and the order lines as well. To make it a little bit easier, you just say filter on order number, then it will only show you the order number that it found on the invoice. This is coming from your Business Central end. And what we do now, I press perform automatic match. Ta-da, we matched this invoice to this purchase order. It is a perfect match because that's what demos are for. Everything needs to be perfect. In real life, that does not always happen, of course, and I know that. That's why if there's a difference, it will be shown in this column over here, and the line will not be made bold so that you can exactly see where it went wrong. You can also see the total difference here at the top, and this will become in red. So it's very easy for the accounts payable team to spot if there's something not well. Over here, like I said before, we can do partial matching. So let's say you order 20 lamps, but they only delivered you 10. Then we can match 10 and leave 10 waiting. If your vendor sends invoices for multiple orders, let's say order 006, 007, and 008, then we can match them all together within your Business Central. You don't have to copy the invoice 3 times and then start matching. We can do it all at once, which is convenient. And we can set up tolerances per supplier. We can even do that on a line level if you want to. So there can be like a small discrepancy of a couple of pennies if you want to. And we can skip the approval if there's 100% match. Within some companies, the approval happens on the forehand when the purchase order is created. If then the goods get delivered to the warehouse, they find everything okay, and then document capture makes an automatic match. Do you then want an extra pair of eyes looking at your invoice? But as always with document capture, you are in full control and you basically automate at your own pace per vendor where you feel comfortable with. If I go one step back, I can see over here the system telling the accounts payable team what it did. It now gives the the best message saying fully matched with purchase receipt, which is great, but it can also say it's partially matched. It's not matched because our tolerance level was exceeded. Not matched because the vendor, there's no order number. Not matched if goods are not delivered yet. It's multiple orders are matched. It can really give the accounts payable team a lot of different explanations of what it did. I would say this matching part of the software is one of our more unique selling points. It is being used by, well, I would say thousands of companies worldwide, and it really saves the accounts payable team a lot of time because the system will immediately know when an invoice comes in, if it's matched, yes or no, and you basically only start working with the ones that are faulty. I'm going to register this one now. I'm going to press register, and then we get an invoice with multiple lines over here. I will now send it for approval, and then it will be gone. The last invoice that I want to show you today is an invoice with multiple lines. Document Capture is very good at capturing lines, and it doesn't matter if there are 3, like in this example, 50 or 100. It will just continue on until it doesn't find them anymore, and it's a one-time exercise to set this up. So, as always, I'm going to press Recognize Fields and create a template. And I actually know that Document Capture made a mistake in this one. That's why we always need to check it the first time. If I select the invoice number, you can see that it accidentally captured the invoice date. So how do I correct this? Super simple. Left-hand mouse button, right-hand mouse button. And now the system will not make this mistake again. For the rest, it found all the dates, all the amounts, all the header information is okay. So let me show you the good stuff. We're going to go into the document card. And in the document card, you got a tab called lines with a lot of columns like number, description, quantity, unit cost, discount percentage, discount amount, and line amount. Again, you can fully adjust this to your liking. I'm going to stand in here, and then on the PDF, I'm going to indicate where do I find it. Over here, you find the item number, the description I'm capturing right now. We got a quantity. We have a unit cost. We do not have a discount. Oh, I see I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I was a little bit too fast. This one is over here. Oh, sorry. I'm now messing it up a little bit. This never happens in real life, of course. And discount, I'll remove it. Apologies for the sloppiness. And then the last one is line amount, which can be found over here. If I now press recognize fields, hopefully I did it correct. Yes, I did. It found every line that it could find. And again, if you got 50 lines, 100 lines, 500 lines, it will capture it all. We do this a lot in the retail business as well, and they get crazy large invoices with 50, 60 pages. No problem, we can capture that. And now a funny thing, in the previous invoice, I showed you how we can do the purchase order matching if there's a purchase order in the system. But let's say there's no purchase order for this invoice, then we can treat it as a cost invoice that we're going to split out over multiple lines. And then basically what you can do, you can per line select I want to add it to a GL account, an item number, a resource, a fixed asset, or a charge item. You can even also add your dimensions over here. But now what I'm saying is saying, well, the London chair is going to general ledger account 31400. And then I can say the Paris chair goes to 31500. And let's say, well, the mouse pad is an item number within our system, and I do not know which one. So then I'll open up the list, and then you can select the correct one. So it's very easy for the accounts payable team to make these translations. If you have these translations already in the form of a cross-reference table or the vendor item ledger table, you will be the system will pick that up automatically, and it will add everything that you do. I will now register it, and then instead of getting an invoice with one line, you see it gets split out over 3, and I can send it for approval. And now I got one more to show you that it really works. This one from Not Publishers. It's a bit smaller, as you can see, but it doesn't matter. It's for the example. What I find quite important, it doesn't make the same mistake as it did the first time. As you can see, it captures the correct invoice number now. All of the dates and numbers are okay. And if I look at the document card, you can see that it captured the lines as well. So yeah, life got a little bit easier. Now, this is what I wanted to show you today about template making. Template making is not difficult, as you can see, but it is some work, especially in the beginning. The nice thing is that you can do this in your test environment, and then you can move everything from test to live, so you do not have to do it twice. And you can also, if you got multiple companies within your database, document capture can automatically copy them to other companies for you, saving you a lot of time. What I want to show you now is our approvals process. First of all, the approval can happen in 2 different places. One, we can approve within Business Central itself, what you're seeing in front of you. And number 2 is via our web approval portal. The web approval portal is a portal that allows you to approve on your mobile phone, on your iPad, basically anywhere in the world, as long as you have an internet connection. And another benefit of the web approval portal is that you can log in with a team member license from Microsoft, which is like a cheap variant of the full user license. And that allows people who normally do not approve digitally can now do that in an affordable way. How can we approve? We can approve in 3 different ways. One, we can approve based on an approver and a limit. Let's say I work at your company, I can approve up to £1,000. If the invoice is below £1,000, I'm the only approver. If it exceeds £1,000, then it will first go to me and then to the person who is set up as my supervisor, maybe Nicola in this case. Nicola can approve up to £5,000. If it exceeds her level, then it will go to her supervisor, maybe Daryl in this case. Daryl can approve up to £10,000. I'm making an example here, right? But basically you can make in all of these layers. Number 2 is approval based on vendor. You can say vendor number 1 will be done by Nicola and myself together, and vendor number 2 might by Nicola alone. And you can combine method number 1 and 2 together, which is nice. Method number 3 is approval based on dimensions. For example, you got a dimension business unit or cost center, then you can say to the system, well, if you see on an invoice cost center number 1, send it to that person. If you see cost center number 2, send it to the other person. So you can do it in that way as well. So the system is quite flexible. How do we get notified that we have to approve something? Well, what we do, we will send a notification to the role center over here. But what is mostly used, to be honest, is the email notification. We can send out an email once a day, twice a day, once every 2 days, basically whatever frequency you prefer in your organization. The approvers will get an email with an overview of the invoices that they need to approve. They can then click on a link and it will either open up Business Central itself, or it will open up the web approval portal, what I'm about to do. Bear with me. This is the web approval portal that you're seeing in front of you now. If you open this up on your mobile phone, it will look like an app. And basically, what does the user see? They can see over here that they what they need to approve. Then before they're going to do that, at the top, we can look at what in the archive, what did I approve last week? If the user has access to multiple companies, they can switch between them over here. And on the top right, if somebody is, for example, on holiday or sick, we can set up an out of office, and then the invoices will be forwarded to somebody else within the organization, so the approval flow will not get stuck. To show you how it works, I will click on an invoice, and in a couple of seconds, we'll see the invoice on the right-hand side. You can also make it bigger, of course, and if it contains of multiple pages, you can scroll through them. We can add comments over here, which is quite important. All the comments will be logged from beginning to end so that you, but also the accountants later on, can have a look at it. We can see some details of the invoice. We can see the flow of the approvers. And over here, we can see the invoice lines. And you can, as a company, can even give people permissions to make changes to the lines. So then they can maybe change something, and how do you say this? You can set it up in many ways as a company. You can deny them access, give them restricted access, whatever you prefer. At the top, the user can then approve it. They can also reject it. If they reject it, they need to fill in a reason why. Otherwise, the accounts payable team doesn't know why it got rejected. They can forward it in multiple ways. They can basically approve and forward it without approval. And the bottom one is especially nice if you want to ask some questions, forward and return to me for approval. And the bottom one is that you actually want to ask a question, basically. We can also put it on hold if there's a query. And what the nice thing also is, within Business Central, the accounts payable team has a full list of where all the invoices are, and they can also see if something has been put on hold. Now I will approve it, and then it will automatically go to the next one. And because of time, I will approve them now, because we're also in a good mood. I'll approve them, and I think one more, and now my list is empty. So this is very nice to have the web approval portal, and people can also approve from home, for example. Within Business Central, you have the exactly same rules, only it doesn't look like the web portal, it looks like Business Central. So you will open up an invoice, you get to see the invoice on the right hand side. Well, in this case, there are no comments, and then at the top, we can approve, reject it with a reason, forward in multiple ways, put on hold, and add comments. And if you approve it, Also here, it goes to the next one automatically. So yeah, you got the same rules over here within Business Central. Now the invoices come to the final stage, the release bin. Release invoices can be posted, and we can do that one by one in a batch, or we can automate it. With automate, I mean, for example, every day at 5 o'clock, all the invoices with status release will be posted so that the accounts payable team doesn't have to press that button. I'm going to do it right now. And once I post them, basically our software will stop. It's like happening right now. With Inextricable Group, you post an invoice and then the process that they've designed with you will take over. I assume it will probably go to your banking module. And once the due date is there, you will probably pay the vendor. But from this moment on, everything is final. So a quick recap. Let's say you're using document capture. Document capture will monitor an email address for you, and everything will be downloaded to Business Central automatically. There, the OCR software will be put on top of it, and it will put the template that you created onto the invoice. Then it will try to match it to a purchase order. It will see it as a cost invoice, capture multiple lines, whatever you've told the system that you want it to do. If that's all okay, it can be registered automatically, and then it can be sent to the approvers. The approvers will get a notification via email that they have to approve something. If everything is okay, it will come back to the final stage, to this page over here, and then you can post them. You can either do that manually or automatically. And basically, this saves the accounts payable team a lot of time processing the invoices. The final part of my presentation today, I want to show you how you can find back documents. You have a digital archive. The digital archive will be stored within Business Central or in Azure Blob Storage. Azure Blob Storage is basically you rent a little bit of, how do you say this, storage space at Microsoft in a database of your choice, and there the documents will be stored. We do not store your documents. You will have full access of them. Within Business Central, you will search for them. One is called document search. Basically, every invoice that is scanned with document capture is fully text searchable. So you remember you bought a mouse pad, but you do not know where. You type in the word mouse pad and you get every invoice with the word mouse pad on top of it. And then you can press show document card. Apologies. You get to see the original invoice on the right hand side and the template that you took that day. You can, of course, also just press show file and it will open up the PDF file for you, like this. Or you can press show incoming email. It will show you the email where the original file came in with. This way of searching is very handy if you forget where you bought something, or let's say an accountant says to you, I want to see these 5 invoices. And then you just say, okay. And you copy the invoice numbers in over here, press search, you will get them, add them all to an email, and you're done. That's not the only way of searching. Because we're fully integrated within Business Central, you can basically search for everywhere where this invoice touches something. So you can look it up from the posted documents, the vendor card, the general ledger account, the VAT entries. Everywhere where the invoice touches something, you'll be able to look for it. If I go to the chart of accounts and I scroll to over here, I click on the balance. This is just standard Business Central, what you're seeing in front of you now. And like, hey, what is this invoice? And I believe if I now press PDF file, there we go. It will open up the invoice directly from, let's say, a record on the general ledger account. That's how easy it is. Now, this is what I wanted to show you in 30 minutes. The system can do a lot more, but yeah, it will be too much to show you, of course. What I can tell you is some background. This software was developed in 2013, and since then it became one of the biggest add-ons for Dynamics NEV and Business Central from Microsoft. We have more than 15,000 customers using this software, and yeah, the numbers are still growing, and that is mostly because we're fully integrated into Business Central. Which makes it easy for an Inextricable Group to install it and to maintain it, and also to upgrade it, which we need to do via the Microsoft terms. Then also for you, it's easy to learn because you know Business Central already, or you're getting used to it, but it is simple. then we can do more than the competitors, for especially on the matching part of the software, which is great. I can name 20 more reasons why the software is good, but I will leave it like that. What is important to know is that Inextricable Group is a good partner of us in the UK. They have a lot of experience with the software, so you will not be a guinea pig, which is nice to know in software land. And yeah, they will be able to help you. Before we go to the questions, if you want more information about this, or you want a personalized demo for you and your team, please contact your account representative at Inextricable Group, and they will set something up with myself or my colleague, and we'll do a one-on-one session with all of you. And yeah, again, thank you all for coming in great numbers. And I don't know, Nicola or Daryl or anybody, do we have any questions in the Q&A?
Yes, so we do have some questions come through. So
Okay.
what if the invoice value does not match the PO value?
Good question. What happens then? Then basically the system will stop. It will flag it saying, hey, there's a mismatch. Then the accounts payable team will look, hey, what went wrong? And then basically you will do what you would normally do now as well, because from this moment on, the automatic matching failed. And then, yeah, what is your standard operating procedure within your company? Do you send it back to the purchaser, for example? Are you going to ask for a credit note? Basically, if there's a mismatch now, how do you handle it? That's what you would do in this situation as well.
Okay, brilliant. And one more, how long do we need to implement this solution, and what are the prerequisites?
So it differs per company, of course, because not all the companies are the same. But on average, and don't hold me to it, I will not put my hand in the fire, but on average, what we see, it is about a 4 to 5 day implementation from beginning to end, if there's no crazy things. If you have 25 companies within your database and 20,000 vendors, then I know I'm now exaggerating a little bit. I hope you do mean offense, but then it will probably take longer than 5 days. But on average, I would say 5 days.
Okay. Does the solution work with Microsoft Navision, so the older version of Dynamics?
Yes, it works from NAV 3.7 up to NAV 2018. With a small side note, it works with our version of document capture version 8, which is the version that came out this year, which is very advanced. Everything that you saw today is in version 8 as well, but new updates will only come for Business Central 14 or 15 or higher. So yes, you can use the NAV with version 8, which is a great version, but just so you know. We do keep supporting it.
And we've been asked here, what is the impact of the cost based on the volume increase and decrease?
So what we do, if you're on Business Central, we've cut up our software into three different modules that you can add. We got a basic module, which you always need to have, and then we got three different modules. One is for the order matching, one is for the approval, and one what is called advanced capture. We can do a lot more with advanced capture, but basically you can capture multiple lines. Each month we tick we check which boxes you have ticked, which modules you have active, and then the number of invoices that you've processed. So the invoice will differ each month because if you got a slow month, maybe you get a month where you do not have a lot of invoices, your bill will be significantly less. If you got a month with a higher volume, your bill will go up, of course. We have a pricing calculator that can be found on our website, continia.com, which is public knowledge. And then you can see your own situation over there. Hey, we process 200 documents a month, then you will see an X number price. If it goes up to 300, you will see also a certain price. Basically what we do, the price will go up, but the price per scanned document will go down, basically.
Brilliant. And one more, if the PO does not contain freight costs, but invoice does, how will the system handle it?
Also good. We can do that, and then it will add an extra line in the PO saying freight cost, general ledger account A, and then it will add the freight cost to it. So that's no problem.
Brilliant. So I think, unless there's any more questions that have come, anyone else has any other questions, that's all the
Wasn't too
ones that
bad.
have come through. No, not too bad. But if people do think of questions, then do let us
Sure.
know. We will send out all the contact details for, to everybody on email. So you contact us, as Martin said, if you want a one-to-one demonstration or you have any more questions, please do contact us and we'll be happy to do that. So with that, I think we are at the end of our webinar.
Very good. Thank you again all for joining. And if there's anything, let us know. And yeah, see you all next time, hopefully.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.